Hello there. Welcome to another episode of Queen Mother's Playbook. Today we'll be discussing abuse, how to break out of the cycle of abuse. Okay, so Queen Mother's Playbook. What is abuse? Okay, a famous quote from Dr. Miles Monroe. The abnormal use, when the use of a thing isn't known, abuse is inevitable. So abuse generally is the abnormal use of a thing. All right, so objectifying a woman is abuse. All right, seeing her as a sexual or a sex toy is abuse. All right, in this context, sexual abuse. All right, and breaking out of an abusive relationship can be very tough. Okay, any place or anyone that demeans you or reduces your self-worth is being abusive towards you. Abuse can come in different ways. All right, when your emotions are not being valid or valued in an environment, you're being abused. Okay, and there's so many different ways you can be abused, and if you do not pick that out, you would find yourself being caught up in this web, in this circle for the longest of time. I realized, okay, I'll use myself as an example. I realized I had a pattern of dating abusive partners. I always had an abusive boyfriend. I was always surrounded with or by abusive people. In my case, all right, after having abusive partners, all right, I had to come to a conclusion that, look, each time you see a pattern in your life, it is no longer about the next person, it is about you. There is something in you and there's something on you that creates room for this abuse to happen. All right, and so in my case, I had to take a break. This is a point in your life where you want to start choosing people from a place of total wholeness. All right, because your very broken self can't have good judgment on any relationship you're trying to build. So the first thing you have to do is, it's hard to say, this is not the point you want me to say this, but darlings, you would have to isolate. Stop dating. Just stop dating. Go back to your books. Ask yourself, what is that thing about me that makes it okay for this act to happen? What is that thing about me that accepts not being treated with respect or dignity? All right, so I got to the point in my life where I was like, okay, Queen, you lack self-worth. You lack discipline. I had to tell myself the hard truth. And truthfully, truth be told, I did. And I mean, after a series of abuse, series of trauma, beating myself down every now and then, it was quite difficult for me to have anything healthy. So even if I had healthy people come around, that version of me just could not keep them. I didn't understand what it was like to be treated like a lady. Someone opens the door for you, checks upon you, are you okay, wants to communicate with you was not anything I was used to. So the first thing you have to do is get out of there. Isolate, just take a break. You don't have to be in a relationship. You really don't have to be in a relationship, all right? Take a break. Go on a self-discovery journey. I mean, relax, breathe. All right, let the broken breathe. Capish? So once you get on that path, you come to realize that there are so many things about you that needs to be fixed. I didn't realize that. I didn't know how dysfunctional or broken I was until I just stopped relationships. You know, relationships have a way of distracting you from you. One, being with an abusive partner, the abusive partner does not care about you. Trust me, that person doesn't care about you. So he's not interested in you being better. Because one, the fact that you are so broken or dysfunctional enables his abuse. All right. So the first thing you have to do is break out, get out of there. The moment you don't feel seen, you don't feel heard, you don't feel loved, you don't feel worthy, you're not growing there. Just take a deep breath, get out, get out. Start that journey of self-discovery. Tell yourself you deserve better. But see, my life changed. My life literally changed when I remember back in 2020, the best prayer point I ever had was, God, I want to see myself the way you see me. And that was it. It's like he was just waiting for me to ask for help. Like, talk to me. I would help you. I would guide you. It's how much we downplay how much God cares about our well-being, how much he cares about our efficiency or effectiveness, or how much he cares about our purpose in life. He cares about you that much. I would tell you the truth. He cares about you that much. So the first thing I had to do was isolate. I cut off everyone, everything that had access to me, because if I wasn't growing and if I was going through what I was going through at that point, that means nobody around me at that point in my life was good for me. Okay, so I had to move to a point where God could meet me halfway. Look, how do I put this nicely? You're going to recover, okay? You are going to recover. But first, recovery needs your effort. If you do not wake up with a sense of consciousness, if you do not become intentional about breaking out of this thing, it's not going to happen for you. So first, darling, you have to be intentional about breaking out. Tell yourself you deserve better, because you really do. First, you isolate. Okay, rekindle that relationship with God. I tell people this there's a natural order of things. Is God, his creation, and its purpose. Okay, get to a point where you can have that fellowship with him, where it's just you and him enjoying that intimacy. Ask him questions. Tell him, Lord, lead me through this. Really, he does answer prayers. Lead me through this. And you'll realize that during the course of your recovery, you start seeing things differently. You can't just, you no longer pick your relationships or friendships from a place of pain or bitterness or brokenness. There's something about your mindset that changes. When you're on that journey, your mindset changes. It's like you begin to see things clearly. Write down the things that you do not like. That was another hard pill I had to swallow. By the time I picked up the pen and the paper, look, your recovery would start the moment you can point out your dysfunction. I didn't know this about me. The moment I began to take out time to say, okay, I don't like the fact I keep dating dysfunctional or abusive men. I don't like the fact that I let people talk down on me. I don't like the fact I never fight back. I began to write a list of these things. And best believe that moment of picking out your dysfunction is the moment you begin to recover. It just happens automatically. Once you pick that out, you begin to say, okay, fine. How do I make this better? How do I become a better person? What do I do to avoid this? Okay, that moment you begin to be aware. You become conscious of your triggers. You know what triggers you. You know that, okay, if anyone hands me a bottle, if you're an alcoholic or you're trying to recover, if anyone hands you a bottle, you're going to down it. So what you do is you avoid the bottle totally. Don't try to say, let me just take one shot. You avoid it totally. So when it comes to your relationships, you have to ask yourself, what is it about you that attracts abusive men? What is it about you that even lets abusive men stay? What is it about you that allows abuse? Okay, because that would indicate that there is a break somewhere, there's a twist somewhere. In my case, I had to go right back to childhood trauma. I had to go right back to realizing that most of my early times as a child, I had to do things alone. I had to go right back to realizing that, my dad was mostly very busy, a very busy medical doctor. And I just needed some sense of validation from a male somehow. And even whether or not he was abusive, I didn't care. I just wanted to have that male factor in my life. And I gradually found myself just dating. Okay? I never had, oh God. I'm going to confess, I never had a spec. I never knew what a spec was. I never understood what a rich guy or a broke guy was. I promise, I just wanted a man. Okay, so he should just be there. So I found myself in very ugly, so you can imagine that much void a woman like me could go through, and having to accept all that mess and all that filth because I lacked self-worth, because I felt like I had something missing. And these things are things that so many women out there do not talk about. You don't have to be in that relationship. You don't have to keep that relationship. You do not. You need to start asking yourself, am I choosing this person from a place of would it be purpose or compatibility, or I'm choosing them from a place of brokenness? You need to be able to take that. You need to be able to analyze and dissect your emotions. You have to be conscious about it. I had to get to the point where I said, you know what, Queen? You're no longer dating. You're not doing relationship for now. Hold it for now. Take a break for now. You need to start seeing and being in relationship that are whole and healthy for you. So, sweetheart, if you really want to recover, you need to ask yourself the really hard questions. It's not going to come easy. I promise you, you're not going to have it easy. You're going to go back and forth. There are some days you think, okay, I have everything figured out. And the next minute, you just find yourself going back to that very toxic, abusive boyfriend because you're scared of being alone. But until you are intentional, you're not going to break this thing. You have to be intentional. You have to be angry enough to break the circle. All right? So I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have your stories you love to share, you have something to share in the comment section, please do below. I'll be more than happy to respond to it. And for those women who find it very difficult to share their stories in the comment section, you can always send me a DM. I'll be more than happy to respond to you. And don't forget to follow my handles on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, HRM Awukam. Thank you very much. Bye.